good morning. It's a great morning. You know, when we do math together with our friends, they're called our algebros. So don't forget, hit like and subscribe, hit the bell. So, now, so we are doing a little practice on our midpoint stuff. Now, there was another one of these problems, I didn't like it, that went along with 1 and 2, so these should be obvious, okay, though we'll see how it goes. Now, it says determine whether M is the midpoint of JK. Explain your reasoning. All right, so if we look at number 1, all right, here's number 1. All right, so there's number 1. M is in the middle of these two. These are congruent. This would be yes. All right, how would we back up that statement that yes, that is the midpoint?
By the definition.
Yes, by definition. And I totally meant to write a B. Oh my gosh, words and letters are just not happening today with my hand. Okay, by definition. Okay, by definition. Now you can write out the word. I'm not going to. But now here's what's funny. I didn't say circle yes or no. Some people would do it. I've given tests where it says in big, bold, capitalized letters, circle yes or no. I've had people underline it. I've had people box it. I've had people mark it out. I've had people put a check mark. Do everything in the world except for that. Okay. So, now, these two things look congruent, correct? Yeah. All right. But what do we notice? What's in the middle? J. J's in the middle. Okay, midpoint, the word by itself should be obvious. The middle point. Some of y'all are like, oh, now I get it. Okay. All right, now, you could also say, by definition, obvious thing, M is not in the middle. Okay? Now, if you ever have something like on a check on learning or a test where it says explain, please don't write me a book. Okay? I don't want a paragraph. I don't want a backstory of characters and things like that. Just simple, bulleted, things like that. All right? All right, so 1 and 2, check that box. Hopefully, not too confused. Maybe if you didn't read the directions, read the directions. They're in there for a reason, okay? They're like, directions aren't important. Directions are important with everything you do, okay? All right, remember, midpoint cuts things in half. Yesterday we had a graphic of that cheeseburger cut in half. All right. So this would be 22 divided by 2, which is 11. Yes, it's 11. There's a student that sometimes sounds like me when I'm recording lessons in this class. I don't know who it is. It must be that ghost of not me and not mine that always cause trouble. Okay, so now, so let's see if this is 15. That sounded like Elmo, didn't it? All right. So 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. Now, a lot of people, I can just about guarantee you that you wrote it like this. I don't know of anybody that would actually do it as a mixed number. okay? By the way, that's called a mixed number because it's got a whole number and a fraction mixed together. I know some people are like, I never knew that. You better put on your helmets, it's about to blow your mind. Now, are we good with 3 and 4 now? There's actually a reason why 3 and 4 was on the paper other than like, ooh, this is easy. Context clues, because this is what we're going to. Now, because I know some of y'all are like, I don't have those extra boxes on my paper. Yes, you don't. But if you actually read what it says beforehand, it says how it looks on Check on Learning. So instead of it having like 3 little blanks right here, like you had on your handout for your practice, what I did is I made you a box where you have to write your equation. You get 3 points for that. And then for all the information that you're being asked, you get 2 points for it. Okay? Now, that's what it looks like. So if these are the same, now, so that's kind of how that will roll on the Check on Learning today. This is probably also how it will be on the test. Now, as far as the test, I'm trying to figure out how all that's going to work. And the reason why, I used to have 90 minutes to give a test. My test would very few times last 45. Okay, but if you think about it, if we have a 45-minute test in a 52-minute class, that only leaves 7 minutes. And I don't like doing a big review beforehand because when I had teachers that did a big review, the longer they reviewed, the less I remembered. Okay. All right. So Red Rover, send 7x on over. -6, -2x. All right, so x is 3. Now, x is 3. Now, in between our two choices, we have EM and MF. Which one do you think is going to be the easiest to plug into? The one that sounds like a bad word. Yes, MF. So, wow, no chuckles or nothing. All right, so 5 times 3. Yeah. Now, again, the only thing that will be different is that over here to read this. Now, there were at least one good question today, all right, of how come we're not doubling these like we did yesterday? All right, that's because we're reading the directions. Now, if you're confused, you only have 2 of these on the Check on Learning also. Look what it says, okay? Look, beginning, end, middle, okay? That's how you can figure out. If you get confused, guess what you need to do? Ask a question. Yes, you ask a question. I'm a real boy. Now, wow. All right. So again, I modeled how this will look because I didn't model something on the last Check on Learning, and some people were like, "Oh my gosh, what does that mean?" And like they saw these boxes and stuff, and they totally freaked out. And I was like, "It's not that deep, bro. Why didn't you ask a question?" All right. He says stuff like we would say. Oh my gosh. All right. So now notice I didn't put the steps like we had yesterday. Distribute and stuff like that. There was actually one of the problems yesterday that we should have distributed on, and I didn't read it correctly. Didn't figure that out in the 4th period, so nobody else did either. But we shall see. -24 divided by -3 divided by -3. All right, so x would be 8, okay? Now, we're looking for these two sections right here. I'm going to choose the easiest one. Which one do you think is going to be easier, the JM or the MK? The JM. The JM looks like this. Okay. Well, that's 48 plus 11, 59. Okay. Do 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 do. I don't know. All right. So when you get to these two questions, okay, yeah, you can, if you get confused about them, remember, ask. Hopefully I wrote them correctly. If not, this is going to be bad. Let me. Yes, okay, I wrote them correctly. Yeah. So what's different is like on the check on learning, whatever this is, you're going to multiply it times 2 to get to this one, okay? Just double check on both of them. All right. Whoa, whoa, too far. Stop, wait, reverse the tape. All right, M is the midpoint of PQ. PM is this, MQ is this. Find X and PQ. All right. Draw a diagram. Now, at least I didn't have to hear, I'm not an artist. Okay. I like it, Picasso. Okay, there we go. This is 6x plus 7. This is 9x. I'm glad I always have at least one person that always loves to call out my faults in each class. That way I know exactly who to pay attention to when they mess up. Why aren't you working? Really? Okay. Like, it was drawing and then it wasn't, now it's not. So, like, okay, there we go. That's amazing. Yeah, if you say 6, 7 all the time, that's basically how many brain cells you have left, because that's the only thing you can come up with that's funny.
He said it like 3 times. He keeps saying it over and over again.
All right. So some people are like, oh, he can't hear. He's got that headset on. By the way, I've only got the ear that doesn't work. I have it covered. And I might have been born at night, but it wasn't last night. And some of y'all are about as slick as a gravel road, so. All right, so X is 5. All right, so that's what it's asking. Now, the next part, does it say PM or MQ? What is it asking for? I don't know. It's asking for PQ, the whole thing. All right. So there's a couple ways you could do this. Probably what y'all would do is you would take the easiest one, plug it in, plug it in, plug it in. Okay. Now, that's just this part right here. That section is 37. Then I could take that and multiply it by 2. So what should PQ be? Yeah, I would have to get the calculator out too, but that's... Say it again? 74. And what's funnier than 74? 75. Okay. So, yes, I'll anytime something ends in a 4, we're going to the SpongeBob joke. All right, so now, remember, you are allowed to use your purple sheet and your gold sheet on your, check on learning. There's a reason that the colors of this week's sheets are these colors. Think about it. All right. For those following along, don't forget, hit like, subscribe, to the bell. Good stuff, good things. Roll time.